What's going on, guys? It's Mike and Mitch here to break down the Week 8 NFL slate that we have on Sunday. As you guys can see, we have Vegas pulled up right now. I'm going to let Mitch talk about these games with you guys.
What's up, guys? I wish that we had better games to talk about for Week 8, but it's a week that Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, they are all off the main slate. The only name on the QBs that, the top name this week is Josh Allen. That's all we got. All the other guys are on bye or playing at a different time, not on the main slate. So that's why I think the implieds are really down this week. So not really that fun of a week, but we'll jump right into it. So this is, I think, the highest game of the week. I think is Miami and the Bills, and they're spotting them, 4 touchdowns and a field goal here. So Josh Allen's going to be a great pick this week. Andy's the only quarterback really. But moving on down here, a divisional game. Have they? I don't think
they played yet.
Yeah, okay, they haven't played yet. This is a good game too. Even Vegas got it pretty close. This is another good game, but not a game that's going to have a lot of fantasy value to me, or even a lot of scoring. The Bengals should just topple over the Jets. I think Joe Mixon might be in play. Going on down here, I think this is another good divisional game. Colts and the Titans. There could be some value on the wide receivers here.
I like Carson Wentz.
You like Carson Wentz this week?
I'm high on Carson Wentz.
I like one of Carson Wentz's pass catchers. So we'll talk about that. Another game I'm really excited about, and probably only the last game that I'm really excited about, is the Eagles and the Lions here. Last 3 weeks we've picked Deandre Swift. He hasn't let us down at all. He's been awesome. We were really high on Miles Sanders last week, but that let us down. But some value on the Eagles, as there always is, and Jalen Hurts, great fantasy quarterback. This game is just pitiful. A 41.
Cool. I'm not touching it.
And it dropped. Yeah, maybe a defense. But that's it. The biggest implied for a team total on the slate is the Rams, but they're playing the Texans.
No, I think they're tied with Buffalo.
Yeah, you're right. So, okay, they're tied. Who keeps it closer, though, the Dolphins or the Texans?
The Dolphins.
Yeah, so I could agree with that.
But they don't want Tua. He even said it. He doesn't feel wanted.
Yeah. Another kind of trash game. Jags Seahawks. Nothing there.
I like a running back from that game, actually.
Okay. Decent game. Nothing too exciting. You could always pick Herbert. Maybe Jacoby Myers scored a touchdown this week.
Please, let's not even talk about that.
This is, it seemed like we get one narrative game a week. Jameis going back against Tampa Bay. Maybe Sean Payton lets loose. I know. Who just got traded back?
Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram back with the Saints. I think that helps Kamara.
Yeah, and Kamara's too cheap this week. Way too cheap.
Yeah, I think it helps round out another low implied total between the Broncos and the Washington football team. I almost said it, guys. So now, nothing there really. I like Heineke, though. But let's go on to quarterback here. Easily Josh Allen, best option on both sides.
Yeah, I want to play Josh Allen, obviously. I don't know if I'll be able to this week because of other people I would like to play at different positions. If you can get the Josh Allen, obviously play him. Obviously, you could play Tom Brady or whatever, but we're not going to talk about the high-tier guys. I'm not going to tell you guys to play the 7-time Super Bowl winner. I like Joe Burrow against the Jets. The Jets got torched last week by Mac Jones, and the team in general. Damian Harris had a good week. I like Joe Burrow. He has a good price tag on both sites. I think him and Chase hook up or something again, as we can see that's all they do really is score touchdowns. I also like Carson Wentz, as I said when Mitch was talking about the scores. The reason why I say this is because he's only actually thrown 1 interception this year, so that's good news for fantasy-wise. So you're not going to get points taken away.
He's almost had 2 touchdowns in almost every game this year.
Yeah,
except for 2.
Yeah, and they play Tennessee. So maybe I'm thinking he bounces back against Tennessee and plays better. I also believe that's the game that he got hurt, that he hurt both of his ankles.
Might have been.
I'm not 100% sure when I say that, though, guys. I'm just going off of, I know it was around then. But I do like Carson Wentz, and Mitch said he likes one of his receivers, and I'm assuming that's Pittman. So if you can get to both of them, that's cool with me. I like that a lot. It might be the route I'm going to go. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, one just higher price guy. When I was on Burrow, just real quick, he jumped up in price. He was 6,200 last week, and he's up 1,000 or 900. He's 71. So he is priced up. There's Matt Ryan against Carolina, I think is a good option. I also think I am a little worried about Sam Darnold, but I think he's a viable option as well. And if you do think that Miami could keep it close with Buffalo, maybe you look at Tua. But to be honest, I'm not loving too much. I do like Jalen Hurts. Seems to be kind of in the same area with your Joe Burrow. But I really do think I'm going to try to prioritize Josh Allen, especially on a slate where he's the only top quarterback. I think he's just going to outperform these other guys. Maybe Brady or Stafford could get you there, but I think he's going to outperform them so much that he's going to just be so separate from the pack that I like him. Moving on to running back now. Are you got any interest in Derrick Henry?
No. Not for that price. I can't do it, man. Now, if he was back down in the 9s or even high 9s, like 9.8, 9.9, maybe. But, like, anything over 10 for a running back and both the receivers are finally healthy again, I just can't do it, so I won't be playing him. Eckler.
Let me pause you really quick on Derrick Henry. I just, sorry to cut you off. Quick, something that I could see kind of playing in your favor, though, is if you pick a Wentz and you picked a Michael Pittman and you wanted to, run it back with, the man here. That would be a good game stack.
Yeah, you could do that, but if you're picking Wentz and Pittman, it's probably because you think they're going to be up in that game, and that would... I mean, obviously you run the ball with Derrick Henry 24/7.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're just thinking, okay, normal game strip, if they're going to be down, they're going to be throwing the ball. But it's Derrick Henry, so it doesn't matter realistically. But I just can't play him for that price tag.
Yeah, no, just quick question. Just want to see what you would
say. Now over on DraftKings, you could definitely play him. Like, why not?
Yeah, I don't know why he would ever be below 9,000, let alone like 9.5. So it's definitely viable on DraftKings. And someone else that's too cheap, and mainly on FanDuel he's too cheap, but is Alvin Kamara. Still too 84. Cheap. Still too cheap on DraftKings, but look at this. He's the sixth running back down here?
Yeah.
There's no way.
Jonathan Taylor should not be more expensive than Alvin Kamara.
I think Alvin Kamara is going to have an absolute awesome week.
Yeah. I'll have Alvin Kamara in pretty much all my lineups.
Some people might be driven off Alvin Kamara because he's playing Tampa Bay and Mark Ingram's there, but Mark Ingram's going to be the more on-the-ground running back, and I believe that Kamara is going to take over his passing role, and that's honestly how you attack Tampa Bay is passing and not running the ball on the ground. So I do think this actually helps Kamara. And at this price, you got to play him, I think, especially on FanDuel. It's kind of just how Derrick Henry is just too cheap on DraftKings this week. Moving on down here, I know you wanted to talk about James Robinson.
Yeah, so when we were going over the Vegas odds, I said I'd like a running back from this game. There's no reason for you guys not to like this guy. Maybe you don't like his price tag.
Look what he's done.
Yeah, maybe you don't like his price tag, but he touches the ball at least 16 times a game. He has, I think, 6 rushing touchdowns on the season already, and that's just through 7 weeks. We're now in week 8, so that's a positive sign as well. The Seahawks defense is not good. They give up the most points in fantasy, or maybe second most. It's something like that. But that's why I lean him. His price tag on DraftKings way more interesting. It's $2,000 less pretty much. So with that being said, I think I'd favor him more on DraftKings. But if you didn't want to play the Alvin Kamara or something like that to get different, you would play the James Robinson.
Yeah, just as we're in this tier right now, I mentioned how I was pretty high on Hurts this week, and I would obviously run Hurts back with Deandre Swift. Deandre Swift has been killing it this year. We don't need to talk about him much. He could honestly be priced up even higher than what he is. Maybe it's just because he's a Lion. They don't price the Lions up. But this dude's been an absolute beast. And for the price tag, I would love to play him. Right in the same tier, though, you got Joe Mixon, and he's going up against the Jets. I understand they're traveling to New York, but the implied total says the Bengals are going to smash the Jets here by almost a wide margin, almost more than a touchdown, I think it was.
It's close to 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. So I really do like Joe Mixon. I wish he was a little bit cheaper, not in the same tier as a James Robinson and a Deandre Swift, but at 6,900, I really like him. The only other running back that I kind of like may have take a flyer on, personally, because I like the mid-tier running backs this week, would be Elijah Mitchell versus the Bears. He had 66% of the snaps in the backfield for the 49ers last week, and that's pretty good for a price tag of $5,400 on DraftKings. You'll take that, or at least I would. So that's about the only mid-tier running back that I'm really looking at. Gainwell's down here, but I don't.
was just about to ask you how you felt about that. Him or Boston Scott?
That's the thing. It's not guaranteed that Gainwell's even going to get all the touches or Boston Scott's going to get all the touches. It kind of turns me off a little bit on that backfield, where I know Elijah Mitchell's going to at least get half of those, if not more.
There's just one running back I do want to mention on DraftKings. Daryl Henderson. He's way too cheap. He's 6,500 on DraftKings.
That's a really good call. Good call.
But over on FanDuel, he's, I think, like 1,200 more. I don't know if I'll be able to get to him, but it's a good matchup, especially if you think the Rams are going to get up in the first half and then just pound the ball with them in the second half, because you want to play the game script with him.
It's definitely.
I almost think I'd rather just spend the 200 more onto DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
But it's just something to be different. I don't think a lot of people are going to talk about it because they expect the Rams to blow them out. But if you follow game script and stuff like that, that's one to watch.
Yeah, I like it. Now moving on to wide receiver. None of the usual suspects are at the top. No Devontae Adams. No Tyreek Hill. So none of those guys. We got Cooper Kupp leading the top here, followed by Diggs. I think Diggs is going to be a little bit more popular on FanDuel. I honestly think FanDuel...
He's way too cheap on FanDuel.
Really mispriced him on FanDuel. He's going to really carry a lot of ownership on FanDuel, I believe, for a good reason. I myself is going to definitely pair him with Josh Allen. On DraftKings, it's going to be a little bit more difficult.
He only has 2 touchdowns this season, and one of them is actually the first game against Miami this season. He scored a touchdown. So that's something to note.
This is just an off-the-wall question, not even any wide receiver we're talking about. Are you starting to think that Calvin Ridley is sort of fitting the mold of Juju McSchuster when Antonio Brown was there? So, for instance, Antonio Brown made Juju look awesome, and then as soon as Antonio Brown left, Juju kind of didn't look so good. Do you think Calvin Ridley is...
Well, no, I never thought Juju was good. I thought he was pretty bad. I just, like you said, when you're someone at the caliber of Antonio Brown, it's obviously going to make someone who's not shadowed like Antonio Brown better. With that being said, with no Julio there, Ridley has still performed. Juju kind of disappeared, and as you see now, he's not even like the number one as you thought he would be if you were thinking he was the guy even when AB was there. He's actually, I think he's like the third option on that team in my opinion. Maybe the fourth, even behind Najee Harris. It goes Deontay Johnson, probably Najee Harris, Claypool, then Juju, or you could switch those two around, Claypool and Juju. But he's not the number one like people anticipated. But I do think Ridley's cool. I think he's fine.
Okay, it was just off the wall question. Just want to get your hot take on it. But we have probably Antonio Brown missing again. He's doubtful. Last thing I seen a tweet about him is he was on crutches. I do think that Antonio Brown's going to miss. So last week when Antonio Brown missed, Mike Evans had 3 touchdowns. Of course, we played Chris Godwin.
He still performed.
He didn't do too bad, but he didn't have the Mike Evans, wide receiver 2 behind A.J. Brown last week, kind of day. So are you going to be picking Mike Evans or Chris Godwin this week?
It's tough because that Saints secondary, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's good. Lattimore's probably going to be on Evans, I'm assuming.
That's always fun.
Yeah, that's a good matchup, but I do lean Godwin in this game.
Yeah, so I'll probably go back to the wall on Godwin. Just because we're just talking about it right now. We will go over this again, but if Gronk were to play at 4,600 with Antonio Brown out, I'm really interested in Gronkowski at 4,600. I'm not sure what he is on FanDuel, but when we get to tight end,
6,500. Don't play Gronkowski
Hell
on FanDuel. Don't do that, guys.
Yeah, no. On DraftKings though, I actually really like it. Do you have anyone else in these this tier that you wanted to talk about before I move on down?
No, I mean we touched base on Godwin. We talked about Ridley. Guys, there's no reason for us to talk about these guys. People who watch the NFL know who they are. They know they produce. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to tell you to play DK Metcalf or AJ Brown and against. You know what I'm saying? DK Metcalf has a good matchup. He doesn't have a good QB right now helping him, but
Tyler Lockett's down here at 6,100 though.
I don't need to tell you guys to play them. Like if you're playing GPPs, play them. Obviously, guys.
Yeah, the one wide receiver I'm really liking this week is Michael Pittman. I don't know that I'll be stacking him with Carson Wentz. Maybe in a game stack I would be and playing Derrick Henry. But dude's just been performing all year. He's had a couple down weeks here and there. But for this price tag,
expensive on FanDuel.
He is, okay. He's been about the same price all year on DraftKings. I'm high on Michael Pittman. What is his price?
66.
66.
Yeah, that's a lot for Pittman. As I said, I do like Carson Wentz, but I just don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, I saw him. I was just looking down. Someone else on DraftKings that I think is way, way underpriced is T. Higgins. I know everyone's on the hype train of Jamar Chase, but last week against Baltimore, I don't know if anyone noticed, T. Higgins had 15 targets. At 5,200, 15 targets. I don't expect him to get 15 targets again, but everyone's so on this Jamar Chase hype train that they're overlooking the amount of targets that T. Higgins has. 5,200, definitely be firing him up. I'm just a little nervous the game doesn't stay close, though. That's where, you love that Joe Mixon play.
Especially with no Wilson.
No Wilson. Robbie Anderson, I don't know what to say about that guy anymore.
I don't even think it's his fault, man. I think it's kind of Darnold's fault, wouldn't you say? He's just not... Yeah. He only looks at DJ Moore. And then Darnold played like complete trash after the first 3 weeks.
Yeah. So. But I'm out on Robbie Anderson. I can't, say to play him anymore or, take a flyer on him. He's dust to me. I can't do it. I think Brandon Cooks is a really good price on DraftKings, 5,700.
I think he's 300 more on FanDuel. I think it's a good price as well. So 6K is not bad.
Yeah, that was the last wide receiver that I had written down. Do you got anyone else?
Honestly, no. I'm pretty much set. I'm gonna be paying up for the people we talked about.
Yeah. At tight end, Kyle Pitts is leading the way for tight ends this week. With no Kelsey and no Waller. But I don't see myself being able to get to Pitts. I think he's a really good play. He's pretty much leading the Falcons in everything, breaking all their records for rookie tight ends and receiving. But I don't see myself being able to pay up for that much at the tight end position because I love Josh Allen this week. I like Stephon Diggs. I mentioned Pittman. I like Kamara. So on with Mixon and Swift. So I'm going to have to be paying down here at tight end this week. And depending on a lot of news, I don't want to be a game log watcher, but I think that David Njoku could be a really good play. It looks like Jarvis is going to be out. Donovan Peoples-Jones carrying a questionable tag right now. It doesn't look like Odell Beckham's be able to, give it a run. They will be getting Chubb back, but, no Kareem Hunt. So there's going to be some targets. We've seen kind of focus on the tight ends before. I really like Njoku for his price. Going on, someone I kind of guess I like, but I don't want to put a lot into unless it's a GPP, is this Pat Fryermuth. I really like him. Last week, before the bye, he had 7 targets, and he caught 7 of those targets. At this price tag against the Browns, I would take it. But other than that, I'm going to be paying down a tight end. What do you got?
So over on FanDuel, I got 3 tight ends for you guys, and that's it. And it's not nobody expensive, guys. We're going to go back to the well on Ricky Seals-Jones again. He's too cheap, in my opinion. He keeps getting his targets. We'll take a look at that really quick. He's at 7, 6, 9. He catches the ball. He got into the end zone one of the weeks. So hopefully he's able to get into the end zone again this week. And if you don't like Ricky Seals-Jones, I like Tyler Higbee. We do expect this game to kind of blow out, but for the game to be a blowout, you need to score points. So he's going to be one of the people who score some of the points. I do like Cox because I said I like Carson Wentz. This is probably like the third. I don't really like him as much as I like the other 2 guys. But going back to what Mitch said about Fryermuth or whatever his name is, he's pretty cheap as well. So those are my guys. I don't really like anyone down here. You can go Njoku. I probably won't be this week. I'll probably stay within the Higbee, Ricky Seals-Jones, and Mo Alley Cox range.
Yeah, I can't fault you for them. I think they'll be more easier or reasonable to get to on FanDuel. DraftKings, I think it'll be a little more difficult to get to those guys, but I also like Gronk if he does get cleared to play. Who's the backup tight end for the Bills?
It's not Lee Smith.
No,
he's on
not
the
Tyler Kroft. He used to be the...
Honestly, I don't know. That's something I'll look it up right now.
I don't know if I would put much into it. They got a lot of mouths over there to feed. It was just something I was mentioning because we are going to be playing Josh Allen. So just, maybe take a flyer on his
Tommy Sweeney.
Yeah.
I believe he got a few targets with Knox even there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Tommy Sweeney. I could look him up really quick. It's something we're just doing really quick, off the top of our head, not looking at everything.
Yeah, he caught a touchdown against Tennessee.
Yeah, he's gotten targets multiple weeks, actually. So, he's throwing on the ball, just something that we're kind of just spitballing at each other, live. But, all right, now moving on to defense. I forgot who I was looking at on defense. Where'd they go? Oh, I think the Jaguars are reasonable against Geno Smith. I don't think that it's going to be some, great play, but the price tag on it is really good. Another price tag that I like is Washington versus Denver. I know that Washington is kind of underperformed. On paper, they look really good. But at 2,100, that's perfect versus Teddy Bridgewater.
It looked good last week, though.
I don't know if
the Green Bay Packers.
Is Teddy still wobbling.
I'm not sure, but Teddy burned me last week. I came out and said that I believe he's going to win. He's going to throw for some touchdowns. He did throw for 2 touchdowns, as I predicted, just not to Tim Patrick, like I said. Anyway, yeah, Washington's way too cheap. They had a good defensive game against the Packers last week. They did win. The Packers did beat them. But they also had a few fumble recoveries, like a block punt or something of that sort. So that's something to keep in mind.
The Eagles versus Detroit, not too bad. Did you have any defenses on FanDuel that were different?
No, actually, we're just going to go back to Washington, guys. They're too cheap on FanDuel as well. I'm going to just play them and roll. It's what I'm doing. I don't pay up for my defenses. I don't think you need to.
Yeah, especially the route that we think we're going to be building. And what we want. So that's going to do it for our Week 8 breakdown. If you would like to get more of our plays, follow us at QuickieDFS on Twitter. And if you found any of this content helpful, please drop a like and subscribe. That'll do us, endless amounts of help.
Yeah, thanks guys for watching. Have a good one.
Thank you.